chairman right
There
there.
you go, all right.
Yeah.
Let's go. You tell me that thing's rolling. Okay, thank you very much. Welcome to the planning board meeting. For Sutton, it's August 5th, it's 7 o'clock planning board time. We won't have Jen here tonight. Her husband's mother passed away, but we're very confident. She left us plenty of notes that we can pull this off, all right? Let's see, and the first thing I need is a motion to accept the minutes from July 15th, 2019.
Make a motion, we accept the minutes from July 15th, 2019 with one revision, and then Joyce Smith is basically the curator of the Sutton Historical Society. She is not a member of the Sutton Historical Commission.
Okay, thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Any other corrections?
No.
Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And abstained. I want to, I'm also supposed to let you know that tonight we have two associate members present, Kyle and Bill, and they'll be acting as full members because Mike Gage is not here tonight. So they have all, they vote. That's why we have the alternate, so we can do business when someone misses a meeting. Let's see. Under general business, we have two filings. One is for 8 Christina Lane. And I have to acknowledge that. And 134 Leland Hill Road. Is there anyone here from 8 Christina Lane? Just as the filing was made, and 135 Leland Hill Road was made. We also are supposed to endorse the site plan for IBA on Gilmore Drive. And they're here. We can do that at the end of the meeting.
So I'll make a motion to endorse the plan dated 7/1/19.
Need a second?
I second that.
Any other comments? Anyone here from IBA? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain. Okay. We'll do that at the end of the meeting. We have a waiver site plan review for 8 West Carr Road. Where the heck do we have it? Anyone here from 8 Carr Road? There you go. Come on down. Why? Welcome aboard. All right. Tell us what's going on at 8 Carr.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can sit down.
You should introduce yourself.
All right. Good.
Yeah, just make sure you give us your name and.
Yep, my name is Alex Marlicki. I'm proposing running a business out of 8 West Carr Street.
Are you a resident of Sutton?
I live in Douglas.
Where's Carr Street?
Oh.
West Carr Street, if you, it's on the backside of the ponds. Pull out of Walmart and take a left, take another left, or down, I think that's Menon Street, or Menon Road.
Menon
Take a
Road.
right.
Remember Aunt Mary's?
Yes.
Yeah, it's right from that area there.
Okay. All right, and what do you plan on doing there?
Welding and metal fabrication
Okay.
for car parts and motorcycle parts.
So it's a residential home?
It is actually, it's considered, it's a commercial space. I guess it's a pre-existing non-conforming condition where it was, I believe it was a 2-liter saw shop back in the day, and then it was a Model T place.
Yeah.
So that, yeah.
The owner of the business's family was interested in Model Ts.
Yes, yep.
Of the land, I should say.
Yeah.
I went down there Sunday. Yeah, it is a commercial building. Yeah, it's not a residential building. I wouldn't think. It's got the office in the front, the
Yep,
bays
yeah,
on the side. Yeah.
I didn't drive by, so I'm counting on you guys.
remember, it's a commercial block, is it a commercial block building?
Yeah, it's just a steel building, it's a 40 by 60 steel building.
Is it occupied right now?
It is not.
Okay.
And that's zoned, that's got a zoning for this?
Pre-existing non-conforming, it seems to imply it's residential.
But if it's empty, doesn't it lose its status?
You've got a time,
I believe it was 2 years
2 years
from
that,
the date of it was last occupied.
okay, I think that'll, I'm not sure what the timeline is, but,
I believe it was, I was talking to the person that was in there beforehand, it was I believe it was less than a year ago. That we were in there.
okay. Can you, and I'm just talking, if there's a window of opportunity, as long as there was somebody there, if you can get us their name,
Yeah,
then, and we can find out when they left,
okay, yeah, absolutely.
then it sounds, then for me personally, other board members will weigh in, but,
Okay, yeah.
then we have to go by, the rules and regulations, and you're pre-existing non-conforming, so you do have some wiggle room, if you will.
Yep.
But,
Yes, I know the woman who owns it, her name is Maxine Evans.
okay,
I believe was her grandson that was in there before. I believe
Makes sense.
His name is Sean. I'm not sure what his last name is.
Bigelow?
Possibly. They live down off at the end of Johnson Road.
Yeah, yes, yeah.
so to make it worth the trip in, what I'll do is I'll ask each board member
Okay.
to tell you what they're thinking.
Okay.
They're either gonna be inclined to, grant a waiver from site plan review, or they won't be. And you get that information to us, it should be easy.
Okay, absolutely.
What do you think, Bill?
Was the fact that when I looked at it initially, I did have the concern that it pre-existing non-conforming, are they expanding the business, but the fact that it was empty, without Jen here, our fearless leader, I don't know, there is a time period that if you don't use it, it'll go,
You lose it.
loses it, yeah, you lose it. So I feel, and I don't wanna say we're wasting your time, but I just feel more comfortable if we had that answer.
Yeah.
Because I don't want the neighbors to jump ugly,
Yeah.
or we do something that we shouldn't.
I feel the same way, I think with Jen here, and that answer would be a lot more comfortable, making a decision.
I'll put it right in your lap. Get the property owner to tell you who the last person there was and when they left. Bring that to Jen, and you'll have my vote.
Okay.
As long as it's within whatever the rules and regs say, a year or two.
I think it's 3, actually.
I think so, but
I think it's 3.
I'm guessing.
I would concur with my associates. I really didn't know until I went and saw it.
Yep.
And this definitely is a commercial building, and, if it can, as long as it meets our time requirements, if it can be put to good use, go for it.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, absolutely, yeah, I'll get that information over to Jen probably within the next day or so, I don't know when she's coming back, I know there's a death in her family, so I'll definitely be in touch.
Okay, I would, if it's another day, I think the wake's tonight,
Yeah.
funeral's
Yeah.
tomorrow, so by
Funeral's
Wednesday.
tomorrow.
Okay.
All right?
Awesome.
And there's someone in the office, you can leave it with the secretary. Good, thanks for coming in. Any questions for us?
No, I think I should be
Sure?
pretty good, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, good job.
Thank you.
Great. Form A plans for 435 Boston Road. Someone here for that? Come on down.
You want to come up also?
Yeah.
I'm the applicant, she's the owner.
Okay.
Marty Linder. So, what would you like to know?
Let's get roll these out for us.
Form A that Jen has looked at, and I will be
Let's see. You guys share one? Okay. Walk us through it, Marty, if you can.
What would you like to know, sir?
Which one are we talking about?
All right.
Boston Road.
This
I
is
know
where
that.
Dottie lives, 435 Boston Road.
Okay.
Here's Putnam Hill Road. My house is over here, and I am buying this parcel from her. This was all part of that, and this has been cut out. I own that. I own everything around it that abuts it.
Okay.
Steve LeClaire's house is right here.
Oh, okay.
All right. She doesn't, nothing changes for you, Dottie?
Nothing.
Everything stays
It's backland.
the same. And it's gonna say not buildable on the current zoning bylaws.
There you go. There's no frontage, there's no nothing to it.
Right.
So, backland.
So how come you have to come before us?
You'll have to talk to the fearless leader that's not here. I have not a clue. I was told that all you were gonna do was just sign it tonight, and that was the end of it. So, I can't honestly tell you.
It's just like a regular Form A.
Yeah.
This is where it gets signed.
Yeah.
Just acknowledge that this happened.
Make a motion.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I make a motion that we endorse the plan showing the creation and conveyance of a non-buildable lot dated 7/23/19.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any other comments? Any questions from the public? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstained. Bill, you get everything down?
Yep.
Okay. Congratulations, that was easy. We did it right. Not a buildable lot. Probably, it might be me, because when it says not a buildable lot, and then it comes back and we build on it, I say I don't get it, but that's.
It's 40% swamp,
Okay.
okay? So chances are that nobody's ever gonna build there.
All right, they'll find a way. When they run out of land, they'll find a
Well,
way.
yeah, exactly.
All right, good. We'll sign this after the meeting, and you can come pick it up.
Pick it up tomorrow then.
All right?
Perfect.
I'll make sure it's waiting for you. Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Nice to see everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, even better.
Good Marty.
Marty, come back. We only need one signature.
Just need.
This will take a minute.
If it's that easy, I'll
That
wait.
easy.
Perfect.
Sign and date.
Yeah.
Marty's a conservationist.
Time. Save the time.
Saving that.
My lot should be here somewhere. I don't know.
I'm signing
It's
it
in
right
there.
now.
So what do we keep?
That's it. 2 plus 1.
So we keep some of them. What do we keep?
Hang on, I'll just copy each other.
You gotta keep going, right?
Yeah, I think
We just keep one, but that's, you're dismissed.
Excellent.
See you later.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Okay, and then we have correspondence from CMRPC LPA program. What's that all about? That's the Central Mass
Discuss it,
Regional
but I
Planning
think-
Commission.
The recommendation is that we table this and move it to the August 19th meeting.
Okay, and we also have some correspondence on Snow Road. Is there anyone here from Snow Road? I was reading the legal opinions. It appears, there appear to be some questions, so we'll move that to,
Yes.
till the August 19th meeting. Good, 7:10. The public hearing is continued for 352 Manchog Road. Is about to begin at 7:15, we're only 5 minutes off. Not bad, we can do this. That's Manchog. Hi.
Hello, Jim Hazen, I'm with Gary and Alan,
Engineering Company representing Manchog Trust. Since the last meeting, we've gone back before Conservation Commission. They were satisfied on plans, conditional on Graves Engineering's review. We went to ZBA last week. They voted to approve the use of for 3 apartments within the building, so we're set through ZBA. Conservation was just waiting on basically Graves review and then planning board so that they have the most recent set of plans. So what we've done is we've added landscaping around the building,
It says I was, because it was.
beefed up the landscaping that was there before. Through conservation, they requested a fence around within their jurisdiction, within the riverfront area, to prevent any sort of trash that might blow down out of the dumpster onto that. Jen had conditioned that it not be chain link fence or anodized silver chain link. She asked for it to be preferably black aluminum picket fence, and it's gonna be 6 feet tall. Graves review, their only comment was that we went through the whole turning radius with the using Grafton's Tower 1 as the largest vehicle that might respond here during a fire. So we went through and we demonstrated that it can make the corner, it won't bottom out at the entrance, and we added a little bit of grading along the edge, but they'll be able to make the entire turnaround and then exit back out. Graves asked that before occupancy that they do basically a dry run at some point, just to make sure that because the front bumpers overhang so much and things like that. But that was, other than that, Graves is satisfied. Jen had a couple of minor housekeeping issues, I guess. She asked if there was gonna be a railing on the stairs. Whatever is needed through the building department is gonna be put on there to meet code. She asked that the sidewalk and berm be labeled as 4-foot sidewalk with a 1-foot berm, just to make sure that it's 5 feet away from the building. We did do a lighting plan. We added lights around the building, black sky compliant, or dark sky compliant lights. There was a tiny bit of spillover, and we're adjusting those right now, as far as making sure that the light stays within the property. So again, just a minor change. There was a question on whether or not the sewer line of record is shown for the entire length. This is all we have for a record for the sewer line, so that's the only tie we have. So as far as showing anything more, it's at best a guess. So, I mean, when they run, we propose 2 water services, a 6-inch fire line going up to the building and a 2-inch potable water, domestic water to the building for the restaurant use. I did call the Manchog Water District. They said they have plenty of water. They were gonna issue me a letter. And then, I haven't seen the letter yet, but I know that they said they were gonna be working on it to issue that. And then, so as far as the sewer line goes, we're just gonna have to be really careful when they dig it. It's, you know, if they find it, unfortunately, then they'll have to make any repairs, but, you know, we can't see under the ground any more than anyone else can. So it's, but other than that, we've pretty much addressed all the other comments, questions and concerns that we've had, other than any that you might have tonight.
Good. Thank you. Dan?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I'll ask board members
Okay.
if they have any questions or concerns. Then I'll ask the public if there's any questions or concerns. You know, I start with you this time, Marion. What do you think?
The only one, the only thing is just when are the Water Commission gonna get them their letter so that they can go forward? You don't know.
Right,
Yeah.
that's the thing. So, I mean, if that could be a condition, you know, I mean, they can't do anything without the water anyways.
Anyways, yeah.
So, it's, you know, we're kinda at their mercy, and I know they're not exactly full, or not a large district, so they're not very heavily staffed, so it might be a
Okay.
little while, but.
But Tuesday's a good day to find him. Tell him you were here.
Yes.
You need the letter.
Yes.
That day would be great. Sometimes you have to squeak. Scott?
I don't have any questions right now.
I think the issues that were raised at the last meeting have been appropriately addressed.
At the very beginning, you said there'll be 3 apartments, but you
Correct.
didn't say, and plus a restaurant. I wanted
Yes,
to-
that was.
Yeah, and I just wanted to make,
Three apartments,
Three
and then plus the
plus a
restaurant.
restaurant.
Correct.
And, if, I guess, I'm assuming that there's water to the building.
Right now there is, it's a,
I'm in a
it's a.
similar business. I'm sure the previous people just used whatever was there.
Right, I believe it's a
So-
1-inch or a 3/4 inch service
I'm
right now.
suspicious, because they weren't gonna, they were just gonna use what was there, so I don't know when the last time. But it sounds like you're going in with your eyes open, if there's something wrong there with that existing thing, if it's not big enough or it's not.
Oh, right, yeah, we're proposing to increase the line
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
out there,
Okay.
so. We're looking to, yeah, we're proposing to do and I'd explained it to the water district that, it's gonna be a 2-inch, like you said, 2-inch for the domestic, for the
Right.
apartments and the
You're
restaurant.
bringing new stuff in
And,
anyways.
Yeah, and a 6-inch ductile iron line for the fire service. Two separate lines, so that.
Yep, okay. That'd be the only surprise.
Um,
I have no questions.
No questions, Kyle? Bill?
Now, the letter dated from Jen, August 1st, to us, lists off, I don't,
11?
yeah, I'm looking at F, G, I, M, and N. I don't know if, you were still on the update. I don't know if these were all corrected, prior to, I'm just, F for example. Even though typical pavement and berm section should show on the detail sheets, these items should still be labeled on sheet 2, just as guardrails and bit sidewalks have been. Has that been addressed?
We will address that on the final Mylar. It's, you know,
These are all minor.
right, yeah,
Few,
exactly. They're basically housekeeping issues that we're definitely gonna address, and I'll sit down with Jen before the meeting to make sure that everything's, I'll have a clean letter for the endorsement, so to speak. One thing we are asking for is a waiver for the loading space. The loading space is supposed to be, I believe, 14 by 45 feet to meet, and that's assuming a tractor trailer is coming in to deliver. We are asking for a waiver on that because the loading, what they're gonna be having here is probably a box truck at most, and they're planning on deliveries off hours from when the restaurant's in use, so that whatever truck is pulled in, they can pull off and still unload and load, but not have a designated loading space for that. It's, to find any additional real estate up here to be able to fit a loading space of that size would be, I'd have to expand the footprint, and we're trying to work within whatever area that we have right now.
How do you feel about a loading dock?
Oh, I have no, that's fine with me.
No issue.
I don't see any need for a loading. I assume it's not gonna be the size restaurant that has tractor trailers delivering.
Right, it'd be like a
stuff
box, it's like
that.
a Cisco box truck type thing.
Yeah, no, but that's, and it'll be a challenge. You have people live there, so make sure the neighbors are happy.
Yeah.
That's the landlord's issue.
Yeah.
I assume there's a Question, there is a door there for the back of the restaurant?
Yes, there
Right.
is a door right here that they can enter,
Okay.
so, rather than, not the.
Yeah, they don't really.
Correct.
Scott?
So when you say off hours, is that off of like 9 to 5, not in that window, or during that window when people may be out going to work and there's more room in the lot?
It would be hours off of when the restaurant's not in operation at that time. So,
Which is not known at this time.
correct, but they'll just, have to schedule it for, and we're only, there's 3 apartments in there that, they'll have to, we'll coordinate.
Marion?
I'll set.
You're all set? Okay. 4B5C2, is interior lot landscaping at 5%? If so, no waiver necessary. Is the interior landscaping at 5%?
5% of the lot, or
Yeah,
of
you
the area?
You added stuff, is that what you were?
Yes, yeah, we are over the 5% for,
All right, good. And the access to the unknown land has been settled through town council. The water
Correct.
service is available, you need that letter, obviously, as we move forward.
right, yeah, again, if you could condition that as a,
Yep.
we can't move forward without it anyways.
Any questions from the public? It's real quiet out there. Hearing none, then I come back to the board, and if I can get a motion to approve this site plan. We have a list of minimum conditions that number 11, we'll add a number 12 to it. Which would be? I'm assuming that condition is in here, that the water service is available. Someone want to make this?
Oh, yeah, of course.
How about,
Number 5 discusses the water district.
Yeah, number 1 mentions it too.
Okay.
how about one that all items on Jen's August 1st memo get addressed?
Yep, do that. That's fine. Someone needs to make the motion.
Do we have to do the waivers though first?
I believe you do the waiver for the loading
We
dock
wanna
first.
make sure that we're gonna, we need a motion to approve this, then we add the waivers to it.
No, do the waiver.
Waivers first?
And
I make a motion, we grant the waiver from, section 4, 3B loading spaces, which is none, right?
Right.
For no loading space.
Need a second?
Second.
Okay.
Who
Any further
seconded?
discussion?
who second?
Wally? Okay, all those in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Unanimous.
You can share.
Keep going, Scott.
I'll make a motion, to approve the site plan with the following minimum conditions. Approval of all other applicable approval permitting authorities, particularly the Conservation Commission and Manchog Water District. Number 2, prior to endorsement of approval of the site plans, any final changes required by the planning department or other review authorities shall be made to the plans. Number 3, prior to commencement of site work, the applicant shall provide 3 full-size copies of the endorsed plans and 1 PDF version. Number 4, prior to commencement of site work, the applicant, his engineer, and lead site contractor shall attend a pre-construction meeting with the appropriate representatives of the town. Minutes of the meeting shall be provided within 48 hours, and work can commence once the parties agree to the accuracy of the minutes. Number 5, prior to commencement of the site work, the applicant shall provide a written confirmation from the Manchog Water District that they will be providing the required potable and fire protection water necessary for this site. Number 6, post-construction, the board reserves the right to review lighting and require adjustments to eliminate any encroachment, glare, or objectionable light that can be seen from the abutting roadway or properties. Number 7, prior to occupancy, the applicant shall ensure that the Sutton Police Department and Sutton Fire Department requirements have been fully satisfied particularly with respect to the security, fire protection, and communication systems. Number 8, prior to occupancy, the street numbers of all units and the names of the restaurant, when applicable, shall be clearly posted at the street from both directions. The same numbers shall be clearly visible on the building at the entrance to each unit. Number 9, prior to occupancy, the applicant shall provide the board with 3 copies of an as-built plan as well as a PDF version, along with a written stamped statement from the site engineer that the site has been constructed substantially in accordance with the approved plans. Number 10, dead or deceased plantings must be replaced within a month unless discovered in the summer or winter, in which case they must be replaced by September 30th or May 31st, respectively. Number 11, approval is contingent upon the owner maintaining lawful rights of access to the property from Manchog Road in the location and manner depicted on the plan.
Good job. I don't think we need anything about water.
We did, number 5.
On 1 and 5 took care of that.
How about number 12, address?
Oh,
all-
sorry, number 12, last one, that all issues identified in the planning director's August 1st letter are addressed on the plans.
Thank you.
How's that?
There's the motion. You need a second?
Second.
Very good. Wally's a second. Any further comment?
I just have one comment on Jen's letter up above. She asked, is interior lot landscaping at 5%? If so, no waiver is necessary.
Yeah, I think we.
It exceeds 5%.
I'm sorry. Never mind.
Good question. Okay, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained.
Thank you very much.
Good job.
Thank you.
We're back on schedule, 7:30.
Thank you.
Public hearings continued for Wedgewood Farm. We're doing much better this week. Maybe Jen's the problem, huh? Whoops. Can you delete that?
Oh, geez. Let's roll back the tape there. Oh, boy.
Part of the tape. We're lucky to have her.
Yeah, you cover yourself now. Yes, you're in on this.
Okay.
Welcome back.
Good evening.
All right, and,
Good.
yeah, she's got you here for 15 minutes. We're starting on time.
All right, that's good, yeah. Wrap it up fast.
All right, let's see how good you are.
Randy Waterman from Thompson Property Development, we're the applicant for the project known as Wedgewood Farm, which is on both sides, north and south side of Armstrong Road, right on 146. As we work through the site plans that you've been reviewing for several months now, there are 2 sections of the site where we're doing a fair amount of cutting, and it was actually, a lot of it's on purpose, so we can generate some gravel to use for all the road construction, so we won't be bringing it in off-site and on-site back and forth.
Before I want to make sure
Yeah.
that everyone knows that Bill Telcott is sitting in, the alternate, so
Okay,
he's in on this one and acting as a full member in place of Scott Paul.
okay.
Oh, I can't talk.
You can pay attention though,
Oh, okay.
all right?
Talk,
Okay,
you can't vote.
That means Carl's
No, I'm out too.
around too.
So there's
all right,
4
just,
of you.
because we have to do that stuff and
Yeah.
let you know. Go ahead.
That's fine.
All right.
So basically, going through, Jen and I have spent a little time going through the earth removal bylaw that you have in town, and there's sort of 2 of them. There's one that's in the zoning code, and there's a separate one that's in the general bylaw. So we've gone through the one that's in the zoning code, and the removal of earth from these 2 properties is allowed by that code by right, so there's no requirement for filing, since we're doing a special permit anyway in site plan review. But when you go to your general bylaw, under section 5 of the general bylaw, that is the earth removal section of your general bylaw. And under that section of the bylaw, we would fall under the requirement to have a permit. However, under the section 5 of the general bylaw, there's a section 5.9 that's called out as exemptions from the earth removal requirements. And there are 5 listed exemptions, and we fall under 2 of those exemptions. The first one is under 5.9D, and that says earth removal operations that are in connection with the construction or improvement of a private way. And two of the roads on the north side of the project, well, they're all private roads in this case, but Lily Pond Road and Wedgewood Drive are both private roadways, so they fall under that section for an exemption under your earth removal bylaw. And then the second section is section E, and that one is for earth removal operations defined as a subdivision, which in this case, up top in your regulations, this is defined as a subdivision, which is entirely, earth removal, which is entirely incidental to the subdivision, site plan, or special permitting process. So again, that applies in this case. The work that we have to do is required. We have to remove the material to get it out of the site so that we can build the roadways and the homes as shown in the plans that we've submitted. So we do meet two of the exemptions for a full earth removal permit, and so it still requires a vote of this board. We've submitted an application that has some of the details about the filing. There was a requirement to have a statement, so we've given you a cover letter that describes what we're doing and when we're doing, how we're gonna do it. And we've noted in here that the work would not be done this year at all. We'd wait until next year when we could do it when the school is not in. And that way we would not be impacting school buses in any way. And then we've also designated in here that all access and egress to and from the site would be right on Route 146. So again, we wouldn't be driving up through the center of town or impacting the local roads and traffic.
Okay.
And then I think the only other thing I just want to mention was that it says in there that even though you're getting an exemption, that the planning board or others may require you to meet some of the other conditions that you would have for a regular earth removal permit. And those are under section 5.5, granting or denying permits, and section 5.6, operating standards. So even though we're asking for an exemption, it says that you might need to meet some of these. And I noted in here that we believe we meet all of those conditions. Most of the conditions are fairly normal, that you won't be excavating down to within 6 feet of the groundwater and, you know, things like that. You won't be leaving steep slopes that are exposed. And so there's sort of, most of them are sort of good housekeeping, good construction practice. So it says that the board may require you to meet some. We believe we meet all of those. So I believe that the earth removal operation is consistent with the site plans that we've submitted that you've been reviewing. And I believe it makes sense as an exemption rather than having a separate permit in this case.
For the millions that are viewing at home, and I think for the board members, Sutton used to have an earth removal board when they built Boston, and they built the Mass Pike, and Sutton had all the gravel pits, unfortunately, to do all that stuff.
Yep.
And then they hit a bump, and the gravel pits don't basically lay not being used, and because there were earth removal board meetings scheduled, but there was nobody there, they decided to ask the planning board to become the earth removal board.
Yeah.
So we're newer at it, but that's why you're here,
Mhm.
and we deal with this stuff.
Yep.
For myself, I just went to the sites where the gravel pits are and tried to just take in what they were doing and what was going on, so I
Mhm.
understand there's rules and regs about how close you can get to the water table,
Yep.
how you have to revegetate when you're all done taking out all the materials, if
Yep.
you will. And throughout the year, people come in and renew their earth removal permits, so I guess I throw it to the board members that are acting. Marion, you're on this, should we grant a waiver on earth removal stuff, or should we make them have a separate meeting on
I
earth
don't
removal
think
issues?
so. I don't think it's needed.
Thanks. Scott, you're not acting, what do you think?
I don't know that she's got some minimum conditions here, you know, that were listed. And then we have another letter that we received from one of the neighbors. And, I don't know if that fits in here, or this fits, you know, in another part. But that has more to do with the water and the sewer, I think. And, I don't have any, as far as the earth removal, as long as we put these conditions in, you know,
Yep.
it's fine with me.
And I'm not, as a board member, not as a chairperson, we are the earth removal board, you're here anyways. It makes no sense, it's lousy planning to schedule. We're gonna have to do it anyways, so you're here and you have to deal with us, because we are the earth removal board. I don't feel any need to have a separate hearing.
I'm not acting on this, but I don't think it needs to be a second hearing.
I concur with everything said.
Good, so I'm clear on what's going on here. We're not gonna have a separate hearing. We're gonna grant a waiver request for a separate earth removal
An exemption.
exemption.
Yep.
Right, because we're gonna
With the
have to deal
minimum
with it anyway.
conditions.
But there are some minimum conditions that I'd like someone to make sure we have in place. They have a board member that happens to be sitting right in front of them.
Can I read them even though I'm
No,
not
we're gonna make a
acting?
motion on the,
Yeah, I'm not
the
acting,
waiver.
so-
You're not acting.
I make a motion to approve the earth removal exemption with the following conditions. Do I have to read the conditions?
Thanks.
Prior to commencement of operations, disposal location must be determined and a definitive travel path agreed to by the highway and police departments. 2, prior to commencement of operations, the highway department shall determine with the assistance of the town's consulting engineer the amount of an appropriate road and land restoration bond based on the travel route and the condition of the town's roads to be used in the areas of the site to be disturbed. A bond agreement shall be executed detailing what is expected by all parties in the term under which the town may utilize the bond. Prior to commencement, the current condition of the road shall be documented by the applicant and provided to the planning and highway departments. And 3, prior to commencement of removal operations, the applicant shall determine groundwater elevation to ensure removal operations do not occur closer than 10 inches to the ground. 10 feet to ground, excuse me.
Okay, thank you. Got a second?
Second.
Thank you. Bill's writing that down. Any further comments from board members?
I can't ask a question?
Yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah.
You mentioned 6 feet. You mentioned 6 feet to ground.
Yeah, I think that's what was in one of the sections of the regulations said 6 feet, but we won't be within 10 feet on Lily Pond, on either one of these, we won't be within 10 feet, so I'm fine with that condition as he read it.
Any other comments from board members? Not a lot coming from the audience. Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained?
402.
Okay, what else we got?
I think that's probably mainly what we get done. Jen Hager sent out an email about a couple of waivers that we had started to talk about last time. And I think she's suggesting in here that
Wait.
instead of actually granting the waivers, maybe you grant some conditions. But the first, I think both of these items that she's talking about, we've already started working with Graves directly to get a letter from them clarifying it. So I think we can get their answer to it over the next 2 weeks. So
Okay.
I think she was suggesting that the next meeting would be the 19th.
Yep.
So if that's the case, we're gonna submit information to Graves this week, hopefully give them the week to look at it, and then they can respond by then. So I'm hoping they will say, here's the solution to all those waivers on the road, depth and gravel, that type of stuff.
Well, Manchog's not coming back, so you can have the 7:45 slot
7:45?
on the 19th.
Okay, that's fine.
All right? Which means there's other stuff ahead of you, but I'll keep us on track. All right?
I just figured it was the earth removal board that's more efficient, maybe.
I noticed that.
I noticed that.
Okay, then we want to continue, we'll continue this hearing till August 19th at 7:45.
Make that motion.
Mary,
Second.
Thank you.
Wally.
Okay,
All good?
good job.
Thank you very much, appreciate it.
Any questions for us? I'd like to ask.
No, you've been fantastic to work with, so I look forward
We can
to
take-
wrapping things up.
We can take some criticism if we need it, you know? Even though it's
None
5-on-1.
for me.
Okay, all right.
That's good.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
Night.
And that's all we have, right? Draft bylaws.
Proposed
She's not here, we're
bylaws.
not drafting bylaws.
I think she suggested we either do a meeting next week or the 19th.
Push it off as far as we can.
More time to study that.
Yeah, more time to
How's
say,
that?
there you go. I need a motion to adjourn. It's 7:46.
No way.
That's record time.
Oh, no, you gotta put those back.
Yeah?
I make that motion.
Thank you.
Second.
Okay, good. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained. Not bad. We have to sign.
Some of these days I'll
Thanks.
deny